Good afternoon. Transport Group Manibela announces it would also hold a 3-day transport strike from November 22 to 24 to protest the government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. According to Valbuena, around 150,000 units of PUVs are expected to join the 3-day protest. This comes as the deadline for the consolidation of traditional public utility jeepneys under the modernization program is set on December 31. Piston is also currently conducting a nationwide transport strike that began Monday, November 20, in protest of the deadline. Valbuena says Manibela is still open to dialogue with the Department of Transportation and Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. He also stresses that they are holding a strike not to inconvenience the public but to let their grievances be heard.
Yung ating kapatid na piston, nauna na sila. Pero ang laging naririnig natin, hindi pa nga nailulunsad yung tigil pasada, minamaliit na yung ating mga kasamahan na hindi nila kakayanin. Hindi naman po talaga objective na kahirapan po ang taong bayan. Hindi po objective na walang masakyan ang taong bayan, kundi marinig po ang hinaing nitong ating mga kasamahan sa transport sector.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council reports that over 16,000 people were affected by the recent 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Mindanao. A report on Tuesday shows that the tremor that struck off Davao Occidental on Friday affected over 16,000 people, equivalent to 3,696 families. The agency says 9 reported deaths are still up for validation, while 3 of 16 reported injuries have been confirmed. According to the NDRRMC, at least 1,500 houses were damaged by the strong earthquake. Meanwhile, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology records 112 aftershocks following the Mindanao quake. According to PHIVOLC's 11 a.m. update, 113 aftershocks were recorded, with 70 aftershocks plotted and 6 felt. PHIVOLC says the aftershocks recorded a magnitude range of 1.4 to 4.9. Senators are furious after a Department of Tourism official told them to stop asking more questions to cut short the deliberation of the proposed 2024 budget of several agencies. During the deliberations of the DOT budget, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri says that Philippine Retirement Authority General Manager Cynthia Carrion texted several of his fellow senators to stop asking questions. The Philippine Retirement Authority is a DOT-attached agency. According to Zubiri, Carrion texted Senator Risa Ontiveros telling her to stop asking more questions to the officials of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, so the DOT would be in the next in line with the deliberations.
We're just doing our constitutional mandate of hearing all the budgets and asking diligently where the funds are being utilized. And if it was just me, I would just let go of it. But when I heard that you were texting other members of the Senate, particularly more insulting messages to Senator Risa Ontiveros, that is not proper, that is inappropriate.
Senator Jinggoy Estrada says that Carrion told his colleagues that the DOT officials had been waiting in the Senate since 1 p.m. on Monday, but Estrada notes that the senators had been working since 9 a.m. DOT budget deliberations began around midnight on Tuesday. Estrada also points out that the Senate could defer the DOT budget.
Remember, if one of us tells the sponsor to defer the budget of DOT, what will happen to you? You cannot do anything. You cannot do anything here. If I move to defer your budget or to slash the budget of DOT because of your actuations and because of your actions towards my colleagues here, what will happen to the budget?
Ontiveros says she was also offended by Carrion's remarks, but discloses that Carrion, along with Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco, already apologized. Frasco reveals that Carrion approached her to demand that the DOT be placed first in the schedule of the Senate deliberations.
To which I immediately replied to her to say that we cannot do that because the Senate is an independent body. Imagine my shock and complete and utter disappointment when I learned that she, in defiance of what I had been very clear to her about, proceeded to send these inappropriate text messages.
Here's latest roundup of today's top stories. Transport Group Manibela announces their own 3-day transport strike starting tomorrow, November 22. LTFRB says it is willing to meet 3 of Piston's demands amid the group's 3-day transportation strike. And NDRRMC reports over 16,000 people were affected by the 6.8 magnitude earthquake in Mindanao. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neo Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.